Hello, this is Brian Hegney, instructor of Game and Interactive Media Design at High Point University. If you were following along with me, we just created a multiple answer question that used an image and had some right and wrong answers. Yay. And this next one we are going to create another favorite of mine. It is a matching type of question. It again uses an image, so I'm going to choose matching. The matching and the multiple answers allows me to stick in a lot of content in fewer questions and actually gives for or allows for a fairly broad range of grades because not everyone is going to get every single component correct. And so the grades range throughout the scores, so it's pretty good. What is my second question? Let's see. What is it? Its name is about Adobe or Audition user interface. It's a user interface question. So I'm going to give it a name as always. Now, the students cannot see the names of your questions, the titles of your questions, but I don't know that 100%. As I've been a student and I've never seen the question titles, but I still don't ever name this title something that if they knew the title of it, it would give away part of the answer. That's up to you. That's just me being paranoid. My overall question is, using the image below, match each concept with the lettered portion of the user interface where the concept would be performed. Let's see where that concept would be performed. You'll get it in a second. In this one, I'm going to insert another image of the user interface. And this one has the user interface labeled with A, B, C, and D. You'll see that in a second. Again, let's see. Again, I didn't write this down. Darn it. There it goes. Image description is Adobe Audition's waveform editor is open, displaying much of the software's UI. Title will just be Adobe Audition UI. Audition UI, okay. Again, these are really for accessibility issues, so that when you hover over an image, if you are unsighted or if you're lacking 100% vision, things will just pop up and help you to figure out what these are. Appearance is the last thing we're going to do. Do you remember the number of pixels that I personally use? I use 1000. And when you do that, it updates the height as well because it's constrained. Yay, thank you so much. And I'm just going to click Insert and move my window up a little bit. And there it is. And I have A, B, C, and D labeled on this user interface image. I am going to allow for partial, well, I'll get to this later. I'm going to talk about what I'm actually doing. So the way that these matched images, these matching questions work, I'm just going to go ahead and set it up. The way I found it helpful is I am going to say, let's see, I am going to take A, B, C, D, and I'm going to put those as my questions. So I'm going to say A. I'm actually going to highlight A as my question, and I'm going to set it to impact and make it really big, like 6, yeah. And for A, I'm going to type its matching text component. And so for the text component for A, since this is the effects rack, I'm going to say, I would like to add reverberation to the audio of my introduction. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to set that. All right, so I have, and this A refers to the A in here. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while I insert all 4 of mine. Okay, so I just finished pasting them all in and matching them, so I had 4 different answer pairs. Again, like all answer pairs, if you want to add more, you could click on number of questions, click this drop down and add more. You'll notice it doesn't go up to 3, 2, 1. You have to actually delete them. Like if you do not want this particular, hey, first question answer, you can remove this one, and then that number will update to 3. In each case, you do have to update partial credit, because partial credit is going to say, well, this is 25%. All right. And if I had 3, it would be that terrible number, 33.33333. Repeating. The next thing I want to do, though, is I don't like making it so easy, so I always add unmatched answer choices. I'll just add 1 in this case. I'm going to set that to 1, and that's going to give me an extra answer to hopefully make the quiz a little bit more difficult. Where are you? Here it is, unmatched answer choice 1. And I'm going to say this one. I want to export my podcast. There we go. And what it's going to look like, here we go, is this. It's going to have A, B, C, D on the left, and the student is going to see on the right a group of answers. So I think normally most people do it the other way around, where they put the text over here and you'd have A, B, C, and D on the right. I'm not doing it that way. You could do it either way you want. I prefer randomization every single time things are different. So I'm going to keep A, B, C, D here on the left. And I'm saying this because for some reason, Blackboard's matching quiz question does not randomize this question part of the pair. So it's always going to put this one, question 1, is going to be the first one. It will never randomize that. So what I want to do is, that's why I'm putting A, B, C, and D as my answer choice, the question, and then the answer is actually going to be randomized. I'm going to click random. There. Now we don't have an option. If you actually want to make sure you want one specific one first and second, you can move those around. I'm not. Random. Again, feedback. I'm going to pause it while I add feedback. And then the last thing you'll want to do is just make sure that you're allowing for negative scores. Allow negative scores for incorrect answers. And I'm not gonna allow negative overall score. You may want to be tougher than I am, and that's totally fine. So the way it works for these matchings is that if you get it correct, you get 25%. If you get this question wrong, I'm going to go ahead and take 25% away. So I wrote negative 25, and I will keep that. Again, if you want to be kinder, you might say negative 10 points. I don't know. That's up to you. I'm totally okay with giving them, just taking away exactly what they would have gotten. So when you do this, if you answer all 4, if you answer 2 correct and 2 incorrect, you actually get a 0. You don't get 50%. So maybe 25% is too much. I don't know. You have to ask yourself as the professor what you want to do. Once you do that, move you down. I'm gonna click submit, and you should have your second question. But are you submitting? What's wrong? Submit. There we go. All right, and we have our second one worth 10 points. And I'm done for now. The last thing you're going to do, though, is you're realizing you might have this 2-question quiz, but where are you going to put it? Because this does not exist anywhere yet. Your students cannot see it. And we're going to cover that in the next video. All right, bye.